7. The 0 that's given to us is 5 minus 2i. How many zeros are we looking for? 3. So that means we need 2 more. But there's a preview because we are given imaginary, which is 5 plus 2i. So love, okay, yeah. Like these questions because it's not going to take you too long. Alright, the only thing is, oh, there's a type of error I forgot. It's positive. Alright, okay, 87. And that's what just make it a little bit more difficult because it's 87. But it won't take you too long. Alright, because we only, okay, how many more do we need? 1. Can the answer be imaginary? If we're down to the last one? No. So that means it has to be 1 from the P over Q's. Okay? So 87 is our P and our Q is 1. So we need to just find the factors of 87 because our Q is just equal to 1. So what are the factors of 87? 1. It's not 2. 3, yes. Okay, in other words, let me write it down right here. 87 is 1 times 87. 3 times, what is it? Okay, 20, 29. It can be divided by 4. Okay, divided by 5? No. By 6? No. 7? No. 8? No. 9? No. 10? No. 11?
No.
12?
No.
13? 30 times 9? No. 14? 15? No?
87.
So it's just that, right?
87.
And, oh, I put 1 times 87 and 3 times 29. So even though the number is big, it's not that really, it's only 4 numbers. So, okay, all we're going to do is to just divide each one of them by 1 because the denominator is 1. So it's just going to be, oh, hold on, let me write it down though. 1, 3, 29, and 87. Because the denominator is just 1, then your P over Q's are just positive negative 1, positive negative 3, positive negative 29, and positive negative 87. So there are 2, 4, 6, 8. One of them will be our answer. Why are you hiding, Max? Alright, so let's do our synthetic division. Okay, and let's start with positive 1. Okay, and let's divide the work again. Okay, positive 1, Alma, negative 1, synthetic division. Okay, Melissa, positive 3. Who will do negative 3? Negative 3. Okay, 29, negative 29, Hania. 87, Gael, negative 87. And going, Albert. Okay. Positive 1 what? Okay. What about, okay, positive 1 will work, so I'm just gonna mark it so I know which ones you called already. Negative 1 won't work.
Okay, it's not 3.
It's not positive 3?
Negative 3, it is.
Yes. Okay, we found it already. We don't even need to go to 29 because negative 3 will work. So, if this was on the test, you're just going to have to do 1, negative 1, and positive 3. That would be wrong. And then on the fourth one, negative 3, it'll be right already.
On the test, can we say divide word?
No. Such a smart Alex. Alright, okay, so let's do our synthetic division. No missing terms. So 1, negative 7, negative 1, positive 87. And it's negative 3 that works. Okay, so just put it on your notes because that's the only thing that will work. So bring down the 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. That's negative 10. That's positive 30. And that's positive 29. And that will give you negative 87. Okay, which is, of course, your 0. And since we only need 1 more, we don't need to do anything anymore because they already given to us. if we write down x squared minus 10x plus 29, you're not going to be able to factor it because we got imaginary zeros. You have to use quadratic formula. But since they are already given to us, we don't need to do it. We just need to write down our last answer, which is -3. And we're done. Okay? Alright, last but not the least, it's number 8. Okay, there's a lot of space right here because you have to do all those synthetic divisions before you can find the right one. Alright, last one is the same thing, except we're back to 0. We're not going to have any given 0. So that means P over Q's. And we have to probably do more than one synthetic division. Because oh no, maybe not. Because it's x cubed only. So we only have to do 1 and we're down to x squared. Okay? Which we can either factor or use quadratic formula, depending on what we have. So it's cubed, so there will be 3 zeros. So always start with P over Q. And I think even on the test, there's a line for P over Q's. So that tells you have to do your P over Q's. Alright, so P would be the 2 and the Q is 1. So it's just 1 times 2. So that means plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2. Because it's just 1 times 2. This is the only thing that you have. Because this is 1. Alright, so let's do our P over Q's. 1, -3, 4, -2. There are no missing terms, so it's just 1, -3, +4, and -2. 1 work?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, 1 work right away. See? So this will be 1. 1 times 1 is 1. -3 plus 1 is -2. -2 times 1 is -2. Then 4 plus -2 is +2. 2 times 1 is +2, and there you go. Alright, that's why we already got one of the answers. So the zeros are, I'm going to write it down on the side. We're looking for 3 of them. So the first one is +1. Okay, we need to find 2 more, but we're down to x squared. So I'm going to write the equation already. X squared minus 2x plus 2. And of course, first thing we try is to factor. So factors of 2, that will give us -2. Because 2 is just 1 times 2. And you'll never get -2 if you add them up. It's either +3 or -3 or 1 and -1. So this will not work. So if that won't work, back to quadratic formula. So x is equal to -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There you go. So our a is 1. So on this side, I'm going to write my ABC. And then my b is -2. And my c is +2. So that would be -2, which will turn out to be positive, plus or minus square root of. Our b is -2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times the c, which is 2, divided by 2 times 1. 4 times 1. Okay, we'll turn it on in a minute. Alright, there you go. Alright? So remember this, okay, the whatever we're going to get under the square root sign will tell us if we're going to have an I or not. So let's simplify. That will give you +2 plus or minus square root of. That's 4 minus 8 divided by 2. So are we going to have an I in the answer?
Yes.
Yes, because that will give us -4. So this will be 2 plus or minus square root of 4i. Because it will give us -4. And square root of 4 is
Two.
2. So we can still further simplify it. So this will become 2 over 2 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2. So that's 2i divided by 2 as well.
So it's
Awesome.
1
So this is going to be 1 plus
I.
or minus I. If you put the 1i, if you put 1i, I won't mark it wrong. But we don't usually put it. So that means the last two are imaginary. So on our zeros, let's add now the conjugate again. Remember, they always come in pairs. So 1 plus I and 1 minus I. Oh, sorry. There you go. So now we need to graph, because not only that we're going to find the zeros, but we're asked to graph also. And our parent function is x cubed. So it's only x cubed, so that means falls on the right, on the left, rises to the right. So x and y. Okay, how many x-intercept are we going to have?
3.
Okay,
1.
1 only. Because the other two are imaginary. Okay, we can't graph imaginary zeros. So the only thing that we have is positive 1. So on your x-axis, just put a dot on x equals 1. And that's it. Okay, so we're going to let it fall down on the left. And we're going to let it rise up on the right. Just like a normal cubic function. Okay? What happens if your equation is it's an even power? Let's say it's x to the 4th, but all 4 of them are imaginary zeros. Then there's no graph. There is a graph, but
It's floating.
it's floating. Floating what? Floating cubic? Floating parabola? Floating parabola. That means when you graph it,
I'm a wizard.
it's going to be like that, depending where it is, of course. Okay? If it's a negative in the front, then it's upside down parabola. Okay? Alright, and you're done. Alright, so concentrate on finding all the zeros, because those are the ones that they're going to ask you to do on the test.